Have you ever noticed, my friend, how the landscape of intimacy shifts almost imperceptibly as the seasons turn within us? How the gentle touch, once a tender question, an offering, can sometimes, over time, transform into something resembling a demand. It's a quiet change, isn't it? Not a loud declaration, but a subtle leaning, a weight. The hand that reaches out, once curious and light, begins to carry an unspoken expectation. We, as men, are often drawn to feeling a woman, to immersing ourselves in her presence, her warmth, her very being. And there is a profound, primal beauty in that, a natural current of life that pulls us forward. But sometimes, in our earnestness, in our own deep longing, we forget a crucial, delicate truth. She, just as deeply, perhaps even more so, yearns to be felt, to be truly, exquisitely, and safely felt by us, not just physically, though that too is a sacred language, but in the tender chambers of her heart, in the quiet stirrings of her soul, in the very rhythm of her breath. It's a distinction as subtle as the whisper of wind through ancient trees, yet as profound as the ocean's depth. We seek to feel her, but does she feel us feeling her? With reverence, with openness, with no agenda but presence itself? An invitation to a shared space, where silence is as rich as conversation, and where her being, in its entirety, is not just welcomed, but revered. More than enough. This invitation is not a call to action, but a beckoning into a realm of stillness, of deep listening. It's an invitation to simply be together, without agenda, without the need for an outcome. A space where she can unfurl like a delicate flower opening to the sun, feeling safe, feeling seen, feeling understood, without judgment or expectation. It is in this space that the true magic of connection resides. This dance, this profound current between a man and a woman, is not merely a choreography of bodies. It is the very current of life itself, flowing through two distinct beings, seeking harmony. It is about the breath you share, not just literally, but metaphorically, the way your individual rhythms can fall into a deeper, shared cadence. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. And when a man aligns his breath, his presence with hers, he invites not just her body, but her very soul to breathe freely beside him. It's an unspoken promise that this space, this time, this connection is safe, sacred, an unspoken promise that her vulnerability will be met with tenderness, her strength with admiration, her quietude with understanding. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he stops seeing the woman before him as an ever-unfolding mystery, a sacred landscape to be explored with awe, not conquered with haste. Her soul, my friend, has a melody, a song that plays beneath the surface of words, beneath the expressions of her face, beneath the actions of her day. It is a song that tells of her joys, her sorrows, her deepest longings, her hidden wisdom. What she wants, truly, is for you to hear that melody, to listen, not with your ears alone, but with the quiet, open chambers of your heart, to hear not just the words she speaks or the sounds she makes, but the deeper resonance, the song of her soul, yearning for an echo, a resonance in yours. For desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. And when we offer this kind of presence, this deep, reverent invitation, we do not just rekindle intimacy, we ignite a profound source of inspiration, strength, and creativity, not just for her, but for ourselves. We heal the distance between body and soul, inviting them both into a sacred union. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We speak of intimacy, of connection, of that profound resonance that hums between two souls. It is a whisper, a promise, a silent agreement that transcends words. But why then does this delicate, almost sacred longing for closeness so often remain unheard? Why do we find ourselves adrift, even when standing side by side? Consider the man. He carries within him a deep current, a force of nature. He feels a pull, a stirring towards her. This is not merely a biological imperative. It is often a profound recognition, an echoing of the soul. He desires to share, to connect, to merge. He steps forward. He offers his gaze, his touch, his presence, and often his intentions are pure, born from a wellspring of love and longing. He wishes to bring warmth, to offer comfort, to ignite a flame.
Yet, sometimes in that very offering, there can be a subtle shift, a subtle energy that, however unintentional, carries with it a weight, an expectation, a silent plea, or perhaps even a demand. It's not spoken, perhaps not even consciously felt by him, but it hangs in the air, a tightening, a pressure. And what was meant as a bridge, a welcoming path towards deeper union, can become instead a kind of unspoken imperative. And the woman, she feels this shift, this subtle pressure. Her intuitive self, so finely attuned to nuance, registers it not as love or invitation, but as a force. Her energy, often described as fluid, responsive, receptive, instinctively recoils. It is a closing, a turning inward, like a delicate flower closing its petals at the onset of dusk, not out of malice or rejection of the sun itself, but out of a deep, primal need for safety, for space, for the freedom to unfold at her own pace, in her own time. This turning away is rarely a personal rejection of the man himself. It is a protective reaction, a profound energetic response to the absence of presence and the felt presence of pressure. Her desire for closeness, for deep, soul-stirring intimacy, has not vanished. It is very much alive, but it requires no force, no persuasion, only an invitation, a gentle, open presence, a space where her own essence feels not just welcomed, but revered. This intricate dance, this frequent misstep between good intentions and unintended consequences, so often it is fear, a quiet, insidious whisper within us all. Within the man, it might be the fear of vulnerability. What if I offer myself fully and I am not enough? The fear of rejection. What if she turns away and I am left exposed, alone? The fear of not meeting expectations. What if I fail to ignite her, to satisfy her deepest longings? These fears, unspoken, unacknowledged, can manifest as a subtle urgency, a push that unwittingly creates the very distance he wishes to bridge. And within the woman, there are echoes of similar fears. What if I am not truly seen beyond the physical form? What if this closeness, this surrender, costs me my own essence, my own autonomy? What if my vulnerability is met not with tenderness, but with a grasping, a taking? These fears, too, build invisible walls, creating a chasm between two souls who, at their deepest core, yearn to meet, to merge, to become one. This is where the current stalls,
where the flow of life, that vibrant exchange between a man and a woman, which is not just passion, but life itself, becomes blocked. The creative, healing, sacred energy that wishes to move, to circulate, to enliven both, becomes static. It is not that the desire has died, it has simply lost its freedom to express itself, to breathe. Desire, in its purest form, is the language through which the soul speaks. It is a yearning for connection, for wholeness, for the divine within another. Attraction is not sin, it's the universe remembering itself, calling forth union. But when this sacred impulse is filtered through our fears, when it takes on the cloak of expectation or demand, it loses its light. It becomes heavy, and the very energy that seeks to draw us together now pushes us apart. When energy is blocked in this way, we don't just lose sex, we lose something far more profound. We lose vitality.
We lose that spark that makes us truly alive, that infuses our days with meaning and joy. We lose the inspiration that flows from deep connection, the healing power of shared vulnerability, the creative surge that comes from two energies harmonizing. The subtle thread that connects hearts before bodies unite becomes frayed, then severed. And the intimacy we crave slips through our fingers, not because it was never there, but because we forgot how to hold it with reverence, with spaciousness, with trust. Love. Feel. Breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We often speak of desire, a word so loaded, so easily misunderstood. We tend to confine it, to reduce it to a simple physical urge, a momentary craving. But what if we paused? What if we truly listened to its deeper hum? What if we recognized it as something far more profound, something ancient and sacred, pulsing within us all? Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It's not merely the body calling out for release, but the very essence of who we are, yearning for a fuller expression of life. It is the deep, quiet longing to be utterly alive, to experience the vibrant current of existence flowing through us, rather than merely observing it from afar. This yearning is not something base or animalistic. It is the soul singing, an echo of the universe's own creative impulse. Think of it. This desire, this force, isn't just about a fleeting moment of passion. It's about a deep, resonant connection to the wellspring of life itself. For a woman, this truth is often felt with an exquisite sensitivity. Her desire for intimacy, for connection, rarely begins and ends with the physical. It is a yearning to be truly seen, not just her form, but her very spirit, her inner landscape, her vulnerabilities, her strengths. She longs to be heard, her unspoken thoughts, her quiet wisdom, the subtle rhythms of her heart. And she deeply yearns to be felt, not just touched, but sensed, understood, embraced in the fullness of her being. Her body is not merely a vessel, it is a living temple, a sacred space where the very current of life pulsates, waiting to be honored. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her, and in that breath she offers herself to the world, seeking a resonance, a recognition. This is why pressure, any form of it, so often extinguishes the flame. It bypasses the soul's intricate language, silencing its song. Closeness, true closeness, on the other hand, invites it forth. It creates the sacred space for that song to unfold, for her desire to blossom from a place of safety and reverence. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This is a truth we often forget, or perhaps we've never truly understood. We mistake the surface ripple for the deep ocean current. But if we allow ourselves to truly feel it, we find an energetic exchange that is far more than physical attraction. It is a creative force, a healing balm, a sacred dance. This isn't about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the subtle,
almost imperceptible current that flows when two beings are truly present with one another, open, vulnerable, and respectful. It is the silent hum of recognition, the gentle push and pull of two unique energies meeting, mingling, and creating something new. When this current is alive, when it is unblocked, it has the power to elevate, to inspire, to transform. It is the fuel for creativity, the source of profound healing, the very essence of vitality.
But what happens when this energy is blocked? We don't lose sex in the narrow sense, no. What we truly lose is vitality. We lose that spark, that zest for life, that deep inner wellspring of joy and inspiration. The world can feel duller, our days heavier, our connections shallower. The life force itself seems to diminish, leaving us feeling disconnected, uninspired, and sometimes profoundly lonely. Think of the river. When its flow is free, it nourishes the land, brings life to everything in its path. But when it's dammed or its path is obstructed, the water stagnates and the land around it suffers. Our own energetic rivers are no different. They need to flow, to move, to be honored in their natural course. How do we find our way back to the quiet, undeniable understanding that transcends words, to a place where intimacy feels like a homecoming? The path, my friends, begins with presence, a word often spoken, yet rarely fully embodied. It is not merely being in the same room or even sharing the same bed. Presence is a radical act of devotion to the moment, a gentle tethering of the self to the now, allowing the world to fall away, if only for a breath. It is the conscious choice to be nowhere else but here, with this person, in this sacred space you are creating together. For a man, this journey into presence often means learning, or perhaps relearning, to slow down, to truly, deeply slow down, to breathe. Let the breath become your anchor, drawing you into the quiet chambers of your own being. Feel its rise and fall, the subtle rhythm of life within you. Allow your attention, often scattered and fragmented by the demands of the world, to fully immerse itself in the moment, not to grasp, not to plan, not to anticipate, but simply to be. When energy is blocked, when it is stifled by pressure or fear, we don't merely lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the animating force that fuels creativity, joy, and a profound sense of aliveness. Attraction is not a sin, it's the universe remembering itself, a fundamental pull towards wholeness, an echo of the sacred dance of creation. So let us return to this deeper understanding. Let us remember that true intimacy is not about what we do, but about how we are. It is about offering our full, unburdened presence, creating a sanctuary where vulnerability is cherished and trust is the very air we breathe. It is about allowing desire to be the language through which the soul speaks, not a drive to be conquered or contained. Love. Feel. Breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We often strive for connection, don't we? We push. We reach. Sometimes we even demand. Yet true closeness, it doesn't arrive through effort alone. It blossoms in a different space entirely, a space where we cease to push and instead begin to listen. Listen not with the busy mind that plans and calculates, but with something far deeper, with the body, with the heart, with the very soul. It is in this profound act of listening, of opening ourselves without agenda, that authentic intimacy is truly born. It is not an act we perform, you see. It is a state we enter, a gentle surrender into the current of life itself. Imagine for a moment the quiet hum that exists within you, the subtle thrum of your own being. This is the life force, pulsing, vibrant, sacred. True closeness begins with a deep, reverent respect for this force, not just in another, but in ourselves. It is a return to our authentic nature, shedding the layers of expectation and performance. And in this return, we rediscover desire, not as a restless urge or a goal to be captured, but as a pure, flowing current. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is not a destination, but a beautiful river that guides us. It leads us towards deeper understanding, towards profound healing, towards boundless creativity. Think of how often we misunderstand this vital energy. We cage it or we chase it. We allow it to be diminished or distorted. But when energy is blocked, we don't merely lose sex. No, we lose vitality itself. We lose the very spark that ignites our joy, our inspiration, our connection to the world around us. This energy, this sacred current, yearns to flow freely within us and between us. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, life breathes with her. Her whole being becomes a vessel of this sacred current. She is not merely taking in air, she is drawing in the universe, allowing its rhythms to align with her own. And in that alignment, a silent power awakens, a gentle strength, a radiant presence. This is not about outer display, it is an inner resonance, felt in the very fabric of existence. She becomes a living testament to the truth that desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing, a melody of life, seeking harmony. And a man, he doesn't lose power when he ages. He doesn't lose his essence with the passing years. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. When he stops seeing the world and himself through eyes that are open to magic, to mystery, to the sacred pulse in all things. His strength, his true potency, lies not in what he can do, but in his capacity to feel, to connect, to receive as much as he gives. When he stops trying to conquer and starts to simply be,
That's when his true power, his quiet authority, truly comes alive. It is a power rooted in presence, not in force. Between a man and a woman, what truly flows is not just passion, not just fleeting physical desire, but life itself. A profound intermingling of two unique universes, each reflecting the other's light. This is why attraction, in its purest form, is not sin. How could it be? It is the universe remembering itself. It is the recognition of resonant frequencies, a deep, ancient echo of belonging. It is a call to wholeness, a whisper from creation itself, inviting us back to our interconnectedness. When we cease to be afraid of our own vibrant power, of this potent creative life force within us, that is when life truly begins to flow again, unburdened, uninhibited. It heals the places within us that have felt fragmented or wounded. It ignites our capacity to create, to dream, to build, not just in art or work, but in the very canvas of our daily lives, in our relationships, in our capacity for joy. It allows us to experience intimacy not as a momentary pleasure, but as an ongoing, evolving dance of souls. This is a journey back to yourself, a remembering, a quiet awakening to the truth that has always resided within you, patiently waiting. The truth of your inherent worth, your deep capacity for connection, your sacred, vital energy. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.